All right, story time on how my parents kicked me out of the house at 19. I don't know why I'm smiling because it was not a good thing at all. So this story takes place in 2024, okay? So in 2023, I moved out with my ex-boyfriend. We both got an apartment together and everything was great. We got a dog together, and then I went on my family vacation for Christmas and New Year's, and I was out of town. When I came back home in January, I found out that my ex-boyfriend had cheated on me. I stayed with him for about a month after that. Things weren't working out. He owed me a bunch of money. The second he gave me that money, I left. I broke up with him that same day. Packed up all of my things that night. I had some of my friends come help me get all of my stuff, and I moved back home to my parents' house. Now, during this time, there was a lot going on. I was still going to school. I was still working. Now, mind you, my parents live in Illinois. I was living in Missouri. So I had pretty much done like everything out of Missouri. I got a job out there. I was seeing therapy. Like, I made friends out there. And so I was still working and I was still going to therapy, and I still had to go out to Missouri, and it was a pain. And my parents did not like that I was in therapy, and they did not like that I worked out in Missouri. So they were immediately trying to control what it was that I was doing, even though I was 19 years old. I was in college. I was an adult. So I thought. So the first night that I got to my parents' house, I slept. I cried. I literally cried myself to sleep. My dog was with me. It was really sad. I was obviously fucking depressed. I was going through a breakup, and I had a dog with the guy, and now the dog is in my house on my bed, and it's just like, she reminds me of him, and blah, 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 blah. So I wake up the next morning. My mom goes to work. I didn't go to class. I was like, fuck that. I don't have the energy to get up and go do that. I'm not doing it. My mom comes home from work, and she starts screaming at me. She was losing her fucking mind because I didn't unpack anything. All of my things were in my room, and she was screaming at me because I did not unpack anything. And I literally was laying in that bed, and I was like, girl, I don't have the energy to do it, and I'm not going to do it right now. I did not eat for 5 days while I was there. I was extremely depressed, and when I am very sad or very anxious, I do not have an appetite. Food sounds absolutely fucking foul and disgusting. And it would upset me because my parents would have family dinner, and then they would want me to do the dishes for them even though I didn't eat anything. And it just didn't make sense to me because for about a year, whenever I cooked something, I did my own dishes. So it didn't make sense to me why the fuck I would do your dishes when I didn't eat it. And then they would want me to like clean up after them. And I was like, why the fuck would I do that when I haven't even been out there? I've only been in my room. I'm taking care of me. I'm taking care of my dog. I'm taking care of the bathroom I'm staying in. Why do I need to take care of everything else when I'm not even in the space? So it was causing these issues where like my parents were trying to control me, and I was not for it because I had freedom for a year and I was doing whatever, whenever, okay? Another thing was that they wanted me to have a curfew again, and that absolutely was not going to happen. I was just like, I'm 19 years old, I'm in college. What the fuck do you mean I have a curfew? And I could not wrap my head around it because I was already like emotionally just like out of it. And I was like, why do I have a curfew? Like, I just want to go see my friends. I'm fucking lonely. Like, I'm really sad. Like, why do you want me to be here suffering? And so if I was not at home rotting in my bed, I was probably out with my friends trying to distract myself from what it was that was going on, okay? But the majority of the time, I stayed at home rotting in that fucking bed, and I did not have the energy to do anything else. So during all of that, there was a day that came, and my parents wanted to go get dinner, and I was like, I don't want to get dinner with you guys. I actually have plans to get dinner with another one of my friends. I was on the phone with this friend, okay? And whenever I was like, oh, actually, I'm going to go get dinner with my friend, my dad fucking lost his shit. He was losing it. He like got up and was screaming in my face, saying all kinds of just foul fucking shit about me and how I'm ungrateful and how I'm a horrible person and blah, 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 up in my face, okay? And I'm just standing there like, I'm gonna go inside now. I go inside. I'm literally fucking bawling my eyes out. My mom was so mad at him. She was so fucking mad at him for talking to me like that she didn't even go eat dinner with him either. She was like, fuck that. That night I ended up going out. I got really drunk and I came back home and it was like, whatever. A couple of days after that, my parents were not happy with the lifestyle choices that I was making. And honestly, like, if you are looking at it, and when I look back on it, I was clearly fucking depressed and I was just trying to cope with it. I just didn't know how to, and my parents didn't know how to support me through it. And so there was just this turmoil. And so because of that, my parents were upset with me and upset with the fact that I wasn't respecting them, upset because I wasn't doing anything, upset because I was going out. They did not like that. And so because of that, they literally told me that I have until they gave me a date. They gave me a date to pack up all of my things and leave. And so when they told me that, I packed up literally all of my shit, all of the important things, and my dog, and I left. And I stayed in my car. I was living in my car at 19. To this day, my parents still victimize themselves, trying to tell me that they gave me an ultimatum when last I checked, when you give me a date to move out, there is no ultimatum. Could I have been more respectful? Yes. But honestly, looking back at it, there was no possible, like, if I could relive it, I would do the exact same thing again. Unfortunately, that was all I knew at the time. That was the only way I knew how to cope with it. I don't regret how I handled it. I have since learned how to manage my depression, but at the time, like, that was the only way that I knew how to work with it. And my parents just didn't know what to do with it. And so they still victimized themselves, saying that I decided to up and leave when that just was not what happened. They would say that I lashed out on them. That was not what happened. I never spoke to them, actually. The only person who did lash out on me was my father and my mother, actually. So, like, what the fuck? I stayed in my car for a couple days, and this is how I ended up living with my ex-boyfriend again in that apartment. And that year, 2024, that year, was a fucking shit show from the start to the end. And yeah, there's a lot of stories that come from whenever I did move back in with him. Very traumatizing stories, actually. But yeah, that's how I ended up living with him again. And that is how my parents kicked me out of the house at 19.
Only answer was to call the 5-star resort that he was staying at, pretend to be his sister, and get him on the phone. Get ready with me while I tell you the story about how I caught my ex cheating on me in Cabo. I'm gonna start off by saying, if you think this is about you, it's probably not. Unfortunately, there were just multiple crazy incidences that involved Cabo and this man. This one's just the craziest one because we were actually together for it. It's like a brief history. I don't want to go too in depth with things that have happened before this, but it was a very toxic and tumultuous, I can never say that right, relationship. And to be honest, I never should have dated him from the start. There was a girl that was kind of like a sore spot in our relationship, and I can get into that story later. I have endless stories, by the way, if you want to hear more. But there was a girl who was a little bit of a problem in our relationship for very valid reasons on my part. I also will say it was a long distance relationship. So it was the end of June, and he had actually come to my city to visit me, and we went out one night. We're drinking a lot. I actually don't even remember. I know I got really drunk, and I don't black out. I definitely had browned out a little bit, and I know we got into a fight. Something involving this girl. We finally go home to my apartment, and I basically fall right asleep, and he stays up watching TV. At 4 o'clock in the morning, I wake up to go to the bathroom, and he was actually sleeping on my side of the bed. So his phone was plugged in and sitting on my nightstand. Came back into the room, and there was also a glass of water that was sitting on the nightstand. So I walked over to his side and went to go pick up the water to take a drink. Had no intentions of looking at his phone. It just lit up when I went to go grab her my water. And there was a text, and I could see it clear as day. I didn't take any effort at all to try and read it. I wasn't going out of my way to read it, but it was there. And it was a text from this girl that we had just gotten into an argument. So I obviously freak out. I wake him up and I question him about it, and I kept asking him to open it and show me. And he basically said, if I open this and show you, that's the end of our relationship, which that alone should have been the end. But I just didn't want to let it go. I was much more naive then. And basically it was one of the worst nights of my life. I did not go back to sleep. It was just terrible. And he was leaving the next day. He wanted to move his flight so he could stay longer. But he wasn't talking to me really or giving me any explanation. So I was like, no, just go home. During the week, we kind of talked. This is also the week before the 4th of July. So I think he left on Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we had been talking. I think on Wednesday or Thursday, he went to therapy, and basically was like, we need to talk after. And he wanted to break up. He like kind of switched it around to say that like I broke up with him, but that wasn't really the case. I was like wanting to work it out, which is just crazy. I think I just really wanted it not to be true. Like I wanted him to prove that there was nothing to be worried about and it was completely harmless, even though I knew that wasn't the case. So there was a lot of back and forth on this. He basically being like, I don't want to break up, and him being like, I don't really want to break up either. I love you. He was like, I just need space. Like, I need some space for the weekend. I need to like figure this out. And then like we can talk again on Monday. He was like, I'm going to go visit my brother. I haven't seen my family in a long time. And his brother is married with kids. So, you know, I was like, are you guys going to go out? And he was like, no. He was like, I mean, we might go to a bar and get some food and have some beers, but we're not going to be like going out. We're not going to be talking to girls or anything. So at first, I believed him a little bit. Fast forward to Thursday, I'm sure there had been a lot in between, I don't know, but I definitely called him at night, like hysterically crying, and was like, I can't do this. I don't want to break up, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I don't want to break up either. I just really need space. Then I think I probably called him again, and then he started getting mad, like really angry at me, and was like, I just need space. I don't know what it was, but I think he said I was like, what are you doing? Like, you're not even paying attention. And he was like, I'm doing laundry. And that, for some reason, it's just like woman's intuition, but like that set me off. And then I remember texting him and being like, basically accusing him of going to Cabo with this girl. I don't think I said that yet. We had plans to go to Cabo for the 4th of July. He does this every year. He kind of like was playing it hot and cold, saying that he might have to work, but he literally does this every year. So I was always operating under the impression that we were gonna go to Cabo, because everything with him was always super stressful. Like nothing could be easy and planned out. It was always like a last minute throw things together, and like it would cause me a lot of stress. So I was like, I know like we're gonna end up going. I'm just gonna be ready. I was buying outfits. I got my nails done for it. I just got like such a suspicion when he said he was doing his laundry, because I'm like, you're doing your laundry because you're packing. Like, I know that. It's something about like, is he packing to go away with this girl to Cabo? And then he got really angry. And then I think this was still Thursday, but he sent me a screenshot that he had booked a reservation for my birthday for a hotel in my city. So that was a month out. So again, like he's saying, I love you. He's saying he doesn't want to break up. He's sending me like proof of future plans. So to me, I'm thinking we're still together. Like, I'm not thinking we're broken up. So I think it was like all of Friday, I left him alone. And Saturday rolled around. Remember, I had just been watching TV on my couch literally all day. I was just going insane. Like, I don't know, something just felt not right. Also, something to note is that I can find information on anyone. Like, I'm FBI level, especially if it's a special interest to me. So this girl had obviously been a special interest to me for a long time. Another thing that tipped me off was he blocked me from his stories, which I think he didn't realize I would be able to tell, but B, that girl also went private, which I found very suspicious. Thing was, I don't know if we were talking about it for this trip, but sometime around that time, he was telling me that his friend just got out of a divorce, wanted to get away, so he was like, find a friend to bring, like, we're gonna go away. I don't know why, like, I still to this day don't know what she knows, but she did go on private. So I decided, it was like 2 or 3 p.m. on that Saturday, and I go and look at like one of her best friend's stories. I think I even went looking for her, but like I typed something in and her name popped up because I had searched for her before. Lo and behold, stories were from the resort that he always stays at every time he goes to Cabo. I immediately knew, like there wasn't a doubt in my mind that he was there. Now I knew like he was there with this girl and her friend. I don't even know what I was thinking at this time. Honestly, like still get sick thinking about it. It was the absolute worst feeling in the world. I don't even think I like texted anybody right away. Actually, I think I texted him. I was like, where are you? He like wasn't really responding. The thing with him is like, he will take the lie to the grave. Like he really commits to the bit, to the point where it's like, you don't know if he actually believes his own lies or not. So I knew like I had to get proof without a doubt that he was there. I just didn't know how I was gonna do that. So obviously the only answer was to call the 5-star resort that he was staying at, pretend to be his sister, and get him on the phone.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is a get ready with me while I do part 2 of the evil stepmother. I want to start off by saying that no one knew they were getting married until they posted on Facebook. Like, his mom, his dad, his sister, no one knew that they were getting married. And that's really weird because, they communicate, like, every single day. Like, we all live on the same road. All of us live on the same road. So for them not to know and for none of us to know, that was wild. So one thing that happened was on the first day of school, they posted their pictures and like the kids' picture the first day of school, and this girl was wearing my mother's shoes. What? Another thing is that they didn't let my little brothers go to my high school graduation this past May. That upset me so much, and like nothing was done about that. My father also texted me like not long ago saying that he was blocking me from my brother's phones because I sent a message from our mother to them that said, "I love you. I wish I could go hunt arrowheads with y'all." This next one is literally outrageous. Her youngest daughter, my evil stepmother's youngest daughter, they let her go and like break my brother's things, like mess up all their stuff, and she says she's allowed to do it because that's her house, so those are her things, and they've gotten on to her, but it continues to happen. My brothers are 13 and the other one just turned 10 last week. It was fall break and they left every single child at home and they went to Tennessee to Pigeon Forge. All those children are under the age of 16. I guess they don't care. I think that's neglect. So this past summer, I got a $500 Amazon gift card from my grandma to buy things for my dorm. And my dad held that package hostage from me for literally so long. Like, I asked my sister to like try and go find it and she couldn't find where he put it. And when I finally like went to the house to go get it myself because he was not giving it back, that was the day that all of my evil stepmother's children and stuff were all moving into the house. So I showed up and I was like trying to get my things out and they were getting their things in. They were like meowing at my sister. They're weird. Like mocking us. And another thing that they did this summer is I went to log on to my Netflix account one day and my account was deleted and this little girl's account was in the place of mine. And I texted my dad and I was like, "Why did you kick me off the Netflix and put her youngest daughter on there?" And he didn't have any explanation for it. And he was like, "What? I didn't do that. Like, they have their own." And I was like, "Okay, so it's just a mystery that my name and my mom's names are gone, but yours and the little girls are on there instead. You didn't do that." And another thing, my evil stepmother is just making up lies about me and telling them to like my dad and my sister, who doesn't believe him because my sister is literally my best friend in the whole world. She's like telling them that I'm just in Tuscaloosa down there partying every single weekend. And like, even if I was, what's the issue? But I'm not. I've gone to one party and I went to the Soulja Boy concert. That's literally it. Like, I have not been out in Tuscaloosa. Like, y'all can ask any of my friends. I am the biggest grandma. I don't do anything. I'm with my boyfriend 24/7 and we're just chilling. And this is the weirdest thing.
my evil stepmother has decorated her daughter's bedroom not only with my things, with my mother's things. Like, my mom used to own a boutique, and it was like a 6 to 16 girls boutique, so there was like a bunch of like girly things. And her whole room is decorated with my mother's business items. And no one sees an issue with that. She don't see an issue with that. I think it's insane. And I don't know if I like actually went into detail about how mad they both were that I took my things back from her daughter's rooms. They were furious. Like, my father like skirted up in his truck, and I thought he was literally about to like, I don't know, like he like threw my car door open and was like, do you only have your things in here? Because they want to keep saying that I stole that girl's stuff. I did not take anything that wasn't mine. Why would I do that? I'm grown enough to not take other people's things. I guess they're not. Anyways, thanks for watching my Get Ready With Me on the Evil Stepmom series and Evil Dad.
Hello?
Hey, is this Raquel?
Yeah? Sorry, who is this?
This is Bella. You don't know me, but I think we know someone in common. Do you know a Ben?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay. So Ben is my boyfriend. How do you know him?
Wait, did you say Ben is your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me right now?
Why? Why kidding?
I'm dating a Ben. Are you kidding me? Like,
For how long? For how long?
We've been dating for almost 2 years now.
2 years? That's insane. Okay, wow. Yeah, so I looked through his phone and found your number, and that's why I wanted to call, to make sure that my suspicions were right.
How long have you and Ben been together?
Almost 5 years.
5 years? Are you...
Yep. Yep.
This is ridiculous. See, like, this isn't the first fucking time either. This is ridiculous. You're not the first girl to call me.
You're kidding.
Yeah, this is like... I've like lost count how many girls he's done this to me with. He literally did this to me with my best friend.
Your best friend? Okay, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah, this is... oh my gosh. He told me he was literally gonna propose to me.
What? What?
Are you kidding me? Like, this is...
So I've been dating him for 5 years, and he hasn't even proposed to me, but he's proposed to you.
This is crazy. Oh my gosh, my head is like pounding right now. I found out a little bit over like 6 months ago from now. Him and my best friend were sleeping together behind my back.
What the fuck?
And it's just so crazy because she literally asked me to go get STD checked with her, but she never told me that she was hooking up with my Ben. She just told me she was hooking up with a random guy, and all of her tests came back.
I want to talk about the person that killed my son, but I can't. Unfortunately, he is a minor, so he is protected. His name is protected. All of the information on his end protected. Yeah. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I'm losing my freaking mind. I'm having a day of frustration. I'm having a day of frustration today. I'm frustrated because the person that did this committed a freaking heinous crime. He took a life. And nobody knows who he is. You know, the people in my town know who he is. Nobody else knows who he is. Maybe that's a good thing. The morning after this happened, you know, my son's accident was all over the news. It was all over the news. My dad had, at the time, a pretty public job with the city. And once the news outlets found out who Liam was related to, they immediately blasted his name all over the place. It was all over the news. Ticker tape at the bottom of the news. Grandson of blah, 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 Leah May, killed in horrific car accident. My son's name was blasted everywhere. And this other guy, we can't say his name. I'm not allowed to. And I know that there's more to this, and I know that that's not the bigger picture, and I see the bigger picture, and I get it. But this is, unfortunately, what I am going through right now. And his court case is coming up, his first hearing on December 17th. And that will be the first time that I see this kid face to face after what he did. I'm trying to stay grounded, and I'm you know, taking it day by day, and I'm trying to be the best mom that I can to my other two children, and you know, I'm loving them and doing everything that I can. But let me tell you, when they're at school, I am in rage mode. I am in fucking rage mode. Am I overreacting? I don't know. But this is where my head's at today.
This is part 2 to why you should always trust your gut feeling. So, fast forward past his trip, he comes to my house, and all is well. Like, we've healed everything over the past month. I don't know how. Of course, I'm thinking about it all the time. Who else has he been with that didn't have the courage to text me or didn't see my video? You know, we don't know. But I choose to forgive, and he comes up to my house, and he asked me to be his girlfriend. In his trunk with balloons and a little thing. It was cute. I thought it was original and thoughtful, but just wait until I tell you what, you know, whatever. So I have this awful feeling about his ex. I feel he's not over his ex. I don't know. I just, you know, when you just know, you know. And they didn't have each other on anything, but I just knew. So we had a long talk about, you know, both our past relationships. My past relationship was ended last year in August, so it's been over a year since I had a boyfriend. He told me his last relationship also ended a year ago. Okay, great, whatever. So everything's fine, right? Our hangout goes fine. Nothing happened during our hangout that was bad. He goes back home, and I end up seeing him maybe 2 weeks later. So I go to his house, and he leaves me at his house while he goes to work. So I'm I'm just gonna do schoolwork, whatever. And then I'm you know what, I'll clean his room for him. It's a little bit, it's not messy, but there's a little things out of place. I borrowed his portable charger a couple weeks prior to go to a concert. So and it was still on his desk. So I was oh, I remember he pulled it out of the desk and gave it to me. I'll just put it back, and I'll make his bed, and you know, yada yada yada. Be I'll do something nice. So I open his drawer to put the portable charger back in, and I find a lip liner. Not my lip liner. So my heart drops. I'm what am I finding? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And you know, my first thought is not that he's had girls over, but that it's his exes. And I'm why would he have, and it was in plain sight, by the way. Why would he have that if he had broken up with her a year prior? You know what I mean? If he hasn't seen her somewhat recently, why would he have that there? And he claimed he didn't know what it was, but they dated for 3 years. You know what your girlfriend is putting on her lips. You know what it looks like. Come on now. So I'm oh my gosh. I'm sitting for a second. I'm just wow. So I go in the other drawer, and I open it, and I'm
I just had a terrible feeling. So I looked through his other drawer and I find 2 photos of them. 2 photos of them. One of the photos is from, it's like a homecoming photo, whatever. It's just like, it doesn't matter. It's just 2 photos of them, and I'm like, why do you still have those? Like, why do you have those? Like, what? And he told me that she cheated on him and he broke up with her and threw all her stuff away. No, like, you still have her stuff. And in his bathroom, he had, like, her makeup under the sink as well. And, like, shower stuff, which he claims is his mom's stuff, but I don't think it was. I don't think his mom would be showering in his shower because his mom, like, her room's upstairs and so is her bathroom. Like, I don't think she'd be showering downstairs, but whatever. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, what is going on? So I, wait for him to get back, and I'm just acting so weird. I'm saying, like, some out-of-pocket things, like, that's, like, about, like, the stuff I found, but not, like, exactly. And then it takes him, like, a bit to get it out of me, like, what I found. And I told him, and he was like, oh, like, I didn't even know that stuff was there. Like, I don't even know what that makeup is. Like, I'm not a girl. Like, I don't even know. I never paid attention to her. Like, I never paid attention to her at all. Like, I don't even know the makeup she uses. Girl, what? I didn't pay attention to her like I paid attention to you. Shut up. Like, actually, shut up. You're so weird. And he was like, he took the picture, he threw it in his trash. He took the lip liner and threw it in his trash. Like, he threw all this stuff away. But it's like, why do you have it? Like, I thought she cheated on you. And, like, why would you have that if you guys stopped talking a year ago? Broke up a year ago. So I found out they didn't break up a year ago. They actually broke up a month prior to me talking to him. They went to prom together, actually. They were each other's prom date. Actually, because I did a little, like, digging and stuff and found out that she asked him to prom and they went to prom together. Yeah. Like, May 5th or May 4th or May 3rd, something. Beginning of May. I started talking to him in the beginning of June, by the way. Anyways, I found out the last time they hung out was the end of May. That's disgusting. Like, I was just, like, disgusted. I was so disgusted. I was like, why have you been lying to me so much? Like, that's so disgusting. Like, you were literally getting with, like, 3 other girls a month before I met you. Like, that's so disgusting. Like, I'm gonna have, like, some disease or something. Like, ew. No, like, diss on the girls. Just, like, how many other girls is he getting with? You know what I mean? But anyways, I still forgave him for all that stuff. And, yeah, I left, and he came back to my house, like, 3 weeks later. And, of course, I was really upset about this. Like, I wouldn't stop bringing it up because I just, like, I didn't believe what he was telling me. That he was telling me that he was over her and, like, he hadn't seen her in so long. Like, I didn't believe that. And then, of course, I found out, like, I think I found out when I came back to my house because I did some, like, digging. And I found out that they really were together, like, a month before I had met him. I also found out that they went on a vacation together, like, out of state in May. So, what do you mean you're broken up? Like, the year prior when you're going on vacation with this girl? I don't know. It doesn't make, none of it will ever make sense to me. He comes back up to my house for my birthday and something happens, something really bad happens. I can't really say what happened on here, but it was not something good. It's not something I can say or that I think I want, like, people to know because, yeah, I don't know, like, it's just an awful thing. I broke up with him after that, but, like, he went back to his house, like, we were still, like, on and off, like, from there. He was trying to, like, prove to me that, like, that wasn't like him, and, like, he would never do something like that again, and, like, all this stuff. But, kind of hard to believe when everything that comes out of his mouth is a lie. So, yeah, and then, I found out. Well, I guess we're talking on and off, whatever, and, he came back up to my house, and I was trying to see, like, I didn't feel anything towards him, like, I was trying to feel, like, these feelings again, and I just couldn't because of all the things he had done to me. It just slowly, like, made me stop liking him. Like, honestly, I just stopped liking him as a person. Like, that's not the kind of person I want to be around. That's not the kind of person I want to associate with. Like, we were only dating for a month and a half, and you did all of those things, like, and lied to me about all of those things. Like, what do you mean you can change? Like, that's my first impression on you. Like, I don't want to be around that. I'm gonna make one more part. There's like a lot more, but this next part will be shorter, but it's gonna be my last one, and then yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to my roommate horror story. I could probably do like 3 of these, but this one is definitely worst of the worst. So this happened my freshman year. I'm in my junior year now, and for some context, I'm from Colorado, and I ended up going to school, still go to school in Long Beach, and I go to CSULB. My dad and like a lot of my family lives there, my boyfriend lives there, so I was like, okay, not that drastic of a move. And so you can, like, obviously any dorms you can choose like a roommate that you know, or like someone off the roommate hub, or you could just live with a random person. The girl that I ended up dorming with freshman year, not a random person, fully chose her. I fully chose her. And I knew this girl. We grew up together. Like, she was a family friend. I saw her at like holidays, birthdays, all of them. And like every year, like it wasn't just like, oh, a one-time thing. No, I saw her every single year. I was never really close to her though, so we weren't like best friends or anything. But yeah, we found out that we were both going to Long Beach, and we were like, oh yeah, let's just like room together. That would save us the trouble of having to live with some random. Horrible idea. Horrible idea. And whore. But, yeah, so we ended up moving together. She moved in like the day before I did, because I had to drive my car from Colorado there. And she chose her side of the room, unpacked, all of it. And everything was like cool, chill for like the first 2 months. We moved in at like the end of August. And if you know the dorms, the laundry system sucks over there. So I would do my laundry at my dad's like every 2 weeks, just carry my basket down to my car, drive it over, bring it back. And one of the weekends, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks after moving into the dorms, I offered her, I was like, hey, do you want to come with me visit my dad and like just stay the night while we get our laundry done, and we can come back in the morning. And so she did. We hung out with like my little sisters. We went on like a little hike. It was like a scenic hike with my sisters and my boyfriend. So it was like just chill. And at the time, we were like, when we first moved in, we were pretty close. Like, she was hanging out with my friends. I was introducing her to my friend. She was introducing me to hers. And then since I was the only one that had a car, I would like drive us places to get like food and stuff like that. But yeah. And the dorms that we were living at were the off-campus dorms. So we weren't necessarily on campus, but we were still on campus dorms. We were like 2 miles away. So at our dorm, you had to take like the shuttle to get to campus and back. So going into like October is when everything started happening. I like slowly started realizing that I was just missing a lot of things, like things that I would use on a daily basis. The first thing I noticed were my pimple patches were just gone. Like, I had absolutely none. And I was like, I had 2 boxes and like the sink, like I had 2 boxes under the sink. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm like dying right now. But I went to go grab them, they were completely gone. And I was like, oh, maybe I like used them and completely forgot, or I like brought them somewhere and just lost them. Didn't think too much of it. And yeah, so I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't care about that one. Then I started like losing clothes, and I didn't have, like, I had a lot of clothes moving there, but the one thing I didn't have a lot of were jeans. So I wore my jeans like on a rotation. I had my favorite pairs of jeans, and I also only had like 5 pairs of jeans to wear. So they were definitely on rotation, and I would do my laundry at my dad's. So I was like, I'm missing my jeans, and I'm missing a few shirts. And I was like, oh, maybe like my laundry got mixed in at my dad's between my sisters, and we're all the same size and we're pretty similar styles. So maybe my dad thought my clothes were my sister's. So I asked them, and I was like, hey, have you guys seen this, this, and this? They're like, no, haven't seen it. And I was like, okay, well, like, do you know what I'm talking about? Like, do you know what it looks like? And they're like, yeah, I think so. I was like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna come over and like check if it's there. They're like, okay. I like went through the closet, went through the laundry, nothing was there. What did I just say? Nothing was there. But sorry, I'm stuttering so bad. This is like my second time recording this. So I was like talking to them, and I was like, well, I'm just like missing this, 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 and I just like don't know where it is. And I asked my boyfriend, I was like, hey, did I leave any of these things at your house? He's like, no. Why? Like, I don't have any of those things. And I was like, okay. And so I was like talking to him and my sisters, and they're like, oh, like, what about your roommate? And I was like, why would she know? Like, she's the last person that I think would know. And they're like, well, what if she took them? And I was like, why would she take them? Like, I didn't think she would take them. So I was fully convinced that she had no clue where they were, and that She wouldn't. Like, why would she do that? And I was pretty against, like, asking her. So, because I was just like, she's not gonna know. Like, that's stupid. And they're like, well, maybe you should just check her stuff. Like, where else would it be then? Like, if we don't have it, you can't find it anywhere, where else would it be? My thought process was that when I was, like, transferring laundry from my dad's to my dorm, that, like, something fell out of my basket or, like, was constantly falling out of my basket and they got thrown away. Something like that. So they were like, why don't you, like, go check her side of the room? Like, you're not doing anything wrong. Like, you're not taking stuff from her and you're not gonna destroy anything. So just, like, check. And I was like, I guess. And their thought process was that if I asked her, she was gonna lie to me, which we'll get to. So one day, I, like, had her scheduled down pretty well. She was in class, and I had class in, like, an hour. Yeah, so I was like, okay, let me just check really quick before I head to class. I went and checked one drawer. I found 5 shirts. 5 of my shirts that I didn't even know were gone. Like, it was getting cold. I wasn't wearing my tank tops anymore. She had 5 of my tank tops. And one of my sweaters, which was really weird. So I was like, fuck, what else did she have? So I went through her bottom drawer. Holy crap. I went through her bottom drawer and I found, 3-4 pairs of my jeans. And yeah, by that time I was just pissed. And I was like, what the fuck, bitch? And she lives, like, she's not out of state. She's like an hour away. She has nice clothes. Like, she definitely has nicer clothes than I did. Like, all of my jeans were like Forever 21 H&M stuff. So I don't know why she was taking my stuff, but yeah, I was just mad. And I texted her. I didn't take anything back. I left everything as it was because I didn't want to, like, give the impression that I went through her shit. And so I texted her on my way back to class, like, on my way to campus. I was on the shuttle and I texted her. I was like, hey, have you seen any of my clothes? Like, I just can't find this, and this. I didn't even, like, say all of the things that she had. I just, like, mentioned, like, one or two things. And she was like, no, I haven't seen them. Like, I can check at home whenever I'm done. What time are you in class? Like, when are you going to be in class? And I was like, the fuck? And I was like, I'm on my way to campus right now. And so she was like, by the time I was heading to campus, she just got out of her class. And normally she would, like, not come back to the dorm because she only had an hour break from that class to her next class. So I'm, like, heading to campus and I check her location and she's heading back to the dorms. And I was like, what the fuck? Why are you going back? I knew sure as hell why she was going back. She headed to the dorms and then she texted me again and she was like, hey, I didn't find anything else, but I do have this one shirt. I think you let me borrow and I think I forgot to just give it back. I never let her borrow that shirt. I would never let her borrow that shirt. But, yeah. So I was like, oh, okay, just leave it on my bed. She goes to class. I get out of class, go back to the dorm, and I go through her stuff again. And I'm like, she's lying. I know she's lying. So I go back to check where everything I saw was. She moved everything. She hid everything. It's a dorm. I'm gonna find it. And I'm gonna look for it. I'm not dumb. So I went through everything in her room. Or on her side of the room, at least. She hid all the shirts in, like, a reusable bag underneath her bed, shoved to the farthest corner of the wall. She hid my pants in her closet and, like, shoved them to the back of this shoe shelf, I guess what it is. It's like an open drawer shelf. And so I grab all the shit. I take it all. And I'm like, I dump it all on my bed. I'm looking through them as to what she even took from me, like, counting everything that she took. And the first time I looked, I didn't even realize everything she took. Everything that she hid was mine. And it was more than, like, what I first saw. So I ended up finding, like, my sweats, and then I just, like, kept going through her room to see if she took anything else. I looked through my stuff. She used my entire, like, container of a cleansing balm. Like, a full container of a cleansing balm. I was living there for, like, a month. Maybe 2. How did you manage to use all of that? And I never used it because I would only use it when I, like, had full faces of makeup. And I would use it to take off my makeup, but I would never use it on, like, a daily basis. And I only fully did my makeup, like, twice. And she also took, like, one of my powder puffs from the Philippines, so I know damn well it was mine. But yeah, I'm gonna have to do a part 2 where it gets really worse. So thanks.
I cannot remember the last time I made a video like this. So let's make one and talk about everything that's happened in my life. Okay, so I broke up with my ex that I had been dating for, I think like it was 8 or 9 months. I think we were almost at 9. I broke up with him. I wasn't happy. And I didn't want to stay in the relationship and make us both more unhappy, you know what I mean? I ended up meeting a guy a month and a half later named, well, I'm not gonna say his name, but I met him and it was great. And it was like one of those things where it was almost felt like too good to be true kind of thing. He was so kind and treated me so well, and I was so happy, and I thought like he was this person that God had sent me. Like God was sending me this person because he wanted me to be happy, and someone that treated me right, and someone that was just there for me, you know, and like understood everything I was going through. And then he ended it with me kind of out of nowhere. We had an argument because I was just having a really bad day, and I was mean to him, honestly. I was rude and I was mean. But I apologized, and he told me he still wanted us and he wanted it to work and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, like that's not who I am. I'm not like that. So I apologized over and over again. I was like, that is not who I am. I was just having a horrible week, and it's not an excuse to be like that, but it's a reason as to why I acted like that, and it won't happen again kind of thing. Like, I was a bitch, essentially, and I took accountability for that and apologized profusely. And he told me that it's okay, he forgives me kind of thing. And then the next day, he just told me that it wasn't gonna work, and I reminded him of his ex and that he didn't want to be in that situation again. So I fought him on it because he told me he loved me. Like, this man told me he loved me, and I was like, you can't just leave me after telling me that. Like, that's such an important thing. He leaves. A day later, his repost popped on my For You page, and it's a whole bunch of stuff about like, come back to me, I should have kept my mouth shut, like us if I would have kept my mouth shut. And I was like, okay, either this is about me, which I seriously doubted it was, or it's about his ex-girlfriend that he dated for 3 years. Surprise, surprise, it was his ex. So instead of just telling me, hey, I'm not over my ex, and to protect you, I need to work on myself, I wouldn't have even gotten mad at that. That's honesty. That's what I would have wanted. Instead, you blamed me for the entire thing. Blamed me for why you ended it with me. Compared me to your ex. Said I needed to work on myself. Yeah, no. Like, that's crazy. No way you're gonna make me seem at fault for your actions. Like, that's actually bad. Because you weren't over your ex. You tell me I'm this horrible person who needs to work on herself and obviously isn't ready for a relationship. Why didn't you just tell me that you weren't over your ex? Like, I would have gladly accepted, maybe not gladly, but I would have accepted that, you know? But he told me he loved me, essentially, in the whole relationship or whatever it was. Told me he'd never want to leave me, nothing I could do would ever make him want to leave me, kind of thing. I was like, oh, okay, cool, great, like, this is amazing. I've never had a guy this obsessed with me. I loved it. Obviously it was a lie, but it's okay. Actually, it's not okay. I'm actually taking this is probably one of the lowest moments of my life. I have lost so much weight. I can't eat, I can't sleep. All I think about is him. It's crazy. And I don't really know what he expected whenever you come and involve yourself in a girl's life who obviously just needed someone in a moment of sadness, and then you use her and leave her. What do you really expect from that? I use these like, I use these like lip liner stains. I love them so much. The Mauve one, my favorite. I actually use it every single day. Without fail, I use it. I love it so much. And I have my eyelashes on. I use the Kiss Strip Lashes Shy. And then I put, this is my favorite highlighter in the entire world. I need to buy more because I'm almost out, but it's ColourPop. So yeah, point is, don't let a boy tell you he loves you, especially if you've only known him for a month. I'm just stupid, so, you know, don't do what I do.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. All right. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Wait.
Story time on how I planned out my own pregnancy at 15 years old, and it went nothing like how I had imagined. So basically, bitch, I was on my Debbie Gallagher shit. As soon as I hit 13, I was like, you know what? I kind of want a boyfriend. Like, what? Like, this just would feel and, like, would change everything for me as a person who never got attention when she was growing up. I was an only child. I just wanted attention so desperately bad. Because my dad would just come into my fucking life and be like, I want to be your dad, and then completely ghosted me. And he would just leave me on the little side of the sidewalk like a little fucking orphan waiting for him to come. So that's when all of this started. I turned 15. I thought I was going to have a quinceañera. COVID hits. Boom. No quinceañera. And my mom was kind of just like, okay, well, you're not going to have a quinceañera, so fine. You can have a boyfriend. The guy that I had been talking to in high school, my first, like, boyfriend kind of thing, she was like, fine, you can have a boyfriend. Bring him to the house and we'll have a dinner with him, okay? It was kind of awkward because she sat us down and she was like, okay, if you guys are going to be doing the deed, you guys need to tell me right now so that I can take her to Planned Parenthood. Like, just let me know. But she also sat down like a narco. She was just in the corner like, if you guys are doing the deed, let me know. So I was just like, no, mommy, like, no, that would never fucking happen. Keep in mind, this is the same girl that I asked her, hey, mom, like, what is, you know what? And she cussed me the fuck out and called me a dirty bitch, So we become like an official couple and we can start dating. It's still COVID though, so everybody still has to stay in the house. It was me, my pregnant mom, and my stepdad. We were all in this really tiny apartment that we just had moved into, and then COVID hit. I wasn't getting a quinceañera, mental breakdown every fucking day. I had a boyfriend, but I wasn't allowed to see him because of COVID, so my mom would just let me hang out with him in his car. So things, as COVID gets worse, things in the house progressively get worse because we're all stuck in a house together. Keep in mind, I can barely stand my stepdad and my mom, let alone both of them 24/7 in a fucking house. So things start getting a little domestic-y, okay? Not between my stepdad and my mom, but between me and my mom. Me and my mom were squaring up every fucking day because she was pregnant. I was a teenager that just wanted attention, and she just wanted to be with her husband. And I was like, well, bitch, like, can we hang out? And she would be like, no. She was pregnant, so she just literally did not want to do nothing. She didn't want to hang out with me. She didn't want to talk to me. I just was hanging out with my boyfriend the whole time then, and she was just pregnant. Like, she did not give a fuck about what the fuck I had going on. And we were arguing so fucking bad. So one day me and my boyfriend at the time come up with this brilliant idea to just suggest to her, like, literally sit down, me, him, and her, and tell her that I'm gonna move in with him because his family liked me. So I was gonna move in with him. Tell me why the fuck she got so pissed. She kicked him out of the house and then grabbed me by my hair, dragged me all over the floor. You know how that goes. She was like, don't ever even fucking ask me no shit like that ever again in your life. And I was like, okay, mom, like, I'm so sorry I brought that up to you, queen. But I was like, hold up. What if the way that I can go live with my boyfriend is if I have a baby? If I have a whole Rosa Guadalupe fucking moment, like I have my Domingo 7, then she'll for sure kick me out, and she'll for sure, like, beat me up and kick me out and the whole thing. So light bulbs just sparked in my head. Like, literally a light bulb. I text him like, hey, in order for me to go live with you, I need to get pregnant. And he was like, well, how are you gonna get pregnant? And that's when we started, you know, the stuff, and we started doing the stuff. And in the car, because my mom would only let me hang out with him in his car, not to his house, but we would just sneak off to his house regardless. And then boom, one day I'm fucking nauseous as fuck. I'm like, okay, this must be what being pregnant is like. Let's just, you know, call my mom. I was thankfully staying with my best friend, Delilah. I was staying in her house. Her mom took me in while my mom was giving birth. I found out I'm pregnant while my mom was giving birth. Hit her up, hey mom, I'm pregnant. Of course, she told me, go get your shit, get the fuck out of my house. So I was like, yes, ma'am. As you please. I was like, oh my God, no, mom, no. I got the fuck out of that house so fucking quick.
So I was like watching Attack on Titan and shit. This is part 3 of the story of how my brother essayed me when I was 17 years old. First and foremost, I genuinely want to thank every single person who has messaged me. I'm trying to respond back to everybody, but I feel so blessed and thankful and so proud of myself for speaking up and telling my story. I'm sick to my stomach that this many people can relate with me. It's not okay. I was honestly disgusted and embarrassed, and that's why I didn't tell my story for so long, because it's embarrassing. I'm very thankful for everybody commenting, sending me love and prayers and healing, and I stand by each and every single one of you. So I told you guys the full story of what happened. A lot of people are asking where is he now and what has happened ever since, so I'm going to tell the story of my healing journey, I guess. It's been a long 10 years. This happened when I was 17 years old, and I just turned 27 yesterday. I want to start with Jesse. The person who did this to me is, like I said, he's still living at home with my mom. He is engaged to a girl. I have met her. I haven't blatantly to her face told her what happened, mostly because it's a house full of people who don't care what happened. I would be standing in that house in a room full of people who dismissed me, didn't protect me. I don't even know if they believe me, to be honest, except they have to believe me because he literally admitted it. But we did get in an argument one day where I was yelling at my mom that my kids will not be around him ever. Like, he's not their uncle, and do not cross my boundaries, because she was trying to like argue with me like, oh, you're so ridiculous, like you have such ridiculous boundaries. No. So the girl has to know, but she doesn't know the full story. No. But I have a crazy feeling she's probably gonna find out soon. Me and him have no contact, we have no relationship, and I have for the last 6 years made myself very clear that that's how it's going to be. He still has yet to own up to what he's done, apologize to me for what he's done, or face any consequences for what he's done. So I forgive because I have to. Saying the words I forgive him, they just don't roll off my tongue. Saying I forgive my family doesn't just roll off my tongue. To be honest, it's almost worse what my family didn't do than what he did do to me. That hurt way worse than his hand down my pants. Anyways, so my middle brother, Josh, who I was best friends with, he still lives in that house. He is working. He doesn't pay any bills except for his car, I think, but we don't have a great relationship either. He has said some very racist things to not only the father of my children, but other people on like Twitter. So we don't relate very much these days. My mom does still live with both of them. She is still in my life. She has done a lot to help me. She's helped me financially before. She has helped me in really hard times when I just needed someone there. I know I can always call my mom when I need someone to talk to. She's a really great friend to me. But I struggle with that relationship a lot because I am a mother of 2 boys now, and I just don't have the respect. I don't know how she could not do anything for me. But I'm working a lot on controlling my own emotions and having very strong boundaries. But this is still a fight that I fight every single day. I mean, when I was pregnant with my kids, I would wake up every single night having just horror nightmares about what he did to me. Like I said, it haunts me what my family didn't do. That's what fucks me up. Me and my dad have no contact. He's very racist, and my kids are mixed babies, and he called my kids names, he's called me names that I will just spare the internet of hearing because there's enough hatred out in the world. But my dad is done for lack of better terms. we no talkie no more. We will never have a relationship ever again, and he knows that. I am very much so the angry daughter, and I always have been, literally since childhood. To be quite honest, I don't shut the fuck up. I don't tolerate disrespect, and it's funny because I say that, and I've actually tolerated the most disrespect from my family. And I've gone through a lot of bad things with other people, and my family, hands down, has done me the dirtiest out of anybody in the world. And I struggle with that every day. Lacking a sense of family is such a gap in life that I wouldn't wish on anybody, but unfortunately so many people understand. I pray for anybody who has gone through the same things that I did, and just thank you for the support. And I'm here for each and every one of you. My DMs are open. I have healing journals and so many things coming soon, because it's so hard to heal. It's so hard to just live your life with this type of trauma on your heart, and I genuinely want to help other people get through it too, because I needed somebody like me to help me. I needed somebody who had gone through it to tell me that I'm not crazy, and that I'm not wrong, and that I didn't ask for it, and that I wasn't deserving of it, and that I should have called the police. And that's another story we'll get into. Thank y'all. Thank you so much.